Welcome back. In this session, we are going to explore another powerful sensitivity analysis tool in Excel, the data table under the What If analysis menu. If you have ever wanted to quickly check how changing one or two inputs affect your final output, whether it's sales, loan, EMI, profit, or valuations, a data table in Excel allows you to run multiple scenarios automatically by changing one or two input variables. Let us understand data table with the help of couple of examples. So first, with a single variable. So here we have the loan amount of $200,000. Tenure is 20 years. Interest rate is 6%, and loan EMI is 1433. So this is the same table as we saw in our last example in goal C. And we want to calculate the sensitivity of the EMI with the changes in the interest rate. So interest rate changes by 50 basis points from 5% to 8%. So, what will be the EMI if the interest rate is 5%, 5.5%, 6%, and so on and so forth. So, the first step is basically to link the formula to the data table. So, we have calculated the EMI using the PMT function in Excel, like we did in our previous example. So, we link the EMI calculation to the table first, and then we select the range, go to data, what if analysis, go to data table. It asks for two inputs, row input cell and column input cell. Here we just have one variable which is in a column. We will leave the row input cell blank, and column input cell we will link to the interest rate, which is 6%, and then click OK. So once we do this, we are able to see the EMI at different interest rates. So if the interest rate is 5%, the EMI becomes or reduces from 1432 to $1,319.9. If the interest rate increases to 8%, it increases to $1,672.9. So this is how we can use the data table. So this was a table in a vertical format. Let's see how we can use the data table for a horizontal table. The data inputs are same. So we have the interest rates from 5% to 8%. So the first step again is to link the formula, which is the loan EMI. We select the entire range, go to data, what if analysis, data table, and then here we link the interest rate in the row input cell because the inputs are in a row, and leave the column input cell as blank, and then click OK. So we get the same result. We can check the result by changing the interest rate. So let's say if I change the interest rate to 8%, the EMI is $1,672.9, which is the same as we get in the data table. So this is how we can quickly do a sensitivity analysis to a single variable. In the next example, we'll see how we can use the data table if there are two variables. We have the same loan EMI calculation data over here, and we want to calculate the sensitivity if the interest rate changes by 50 basis points from 5% to 8%, like we had in the previous example, and the interest tenure changes from 17 years to 25 years. We can change the inputs manually and calculate the EMI, right, for different tenures and different interest rates, but that is going to take a lot of time. It can be done quickly with the help of data table. So the first step is linking the formula or the output required in this cell top of the table, and then we select the entire table, go to data, what if analysis, data table. The row input cell over here is the time, the tenure of the loan, and the column input cell is the interest rate. So we link the data table with C19, which is the time in years, and the interest rate, which is C20, and then click OK. So once we click OK, we get the EMI of the loan at different tenures and interest rates. So let's check if this is correct. So if the loan rate is 6% and the tenure is 20 years, so then the EMI is 1432.9. So same as what we have in this table. So we can highlight this cell. And let's say if I change the tenure to 22 years and interest rate to 6.5%, so the EMI changes. Okay, let me bring it to one decimal point, 6.5%. So EMI becomes 1425.9. So 22 years and 6.5%. So this is 1425.9. So this is working fine, and we are able to calculate the sensitivity for these two variables with just a few clicks. So hope you enjoyed this session. Thank you.